Blue Beetle is already said to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, box office failures for any DC movies. And that is a hard thing to achieve. Imagine that. The only movie that Blue Beetle beat in the box office was freaking Wonder Woman 1984. Which, if you don't remember it well, it came out during the pandemic. It came out on December 25th of 2020. How was it? How did you almost get beat by a movie that came out during the worst time of the freaking pandemic in 2020? In what many politicians were referring to as the Dark Winter. How? How? Not even that, but that movie went straight to HBO as well. So what is your excuse? You love to see the Shields coping so hard about this movie. Box office. Blue Beetle stumbles with 25th million debut. Ends Barbie 4-week streak. Barbie came out a month ago and people are still watching it. It's still generating money. Do you want to know for how much the Blue Beetle beat Barbie in its opening weekend? It only beat it by like 4 million, literally $4 million, and that's it. And those are just the projections. Let me remind you. And those are just the projections. Let me remind you, when we actually get the real numbers, probably it's not going to be number one. And in the same amount of theaters, by the way, almost the same amount of theaters. So what is your excuse? How can you do a movie that flops so badly? I have a couple of theories, but we will get into that in just 1 second. Please, before that, órale, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button with a machete if you have to, so we make it out of a Blue Beetle Heights book. Blue Beetle Heights, because holy moly guacamole, those mother lovers are struggling. This movie is struggling. And even the Shields acknowledge it themselves. This movie is one of the softest stars in the history of the DC cinematic universe. Now I wonder why is the reason. James Gunn is a fucking moron. That's the reason why. Is that James Gunn is a freaking moron, an egotistical, branded homunculi that decided that no, my DCEU, my cinematic universe is way more important than the financial success of these movies. Because let me refresh your memory. Do you remember when Black Adam came out? The Rock was teasing that Henry Cavill was coming back as Superman. And Henry Cavill even himself made a video, a post on Instagram saying, yes, I'm back in Superman. You probably noticed that I'm back in Black Adam. Yeah, good riddance. Everyone was so excited, and that's the only reason why Black Adam made like $361 million. $391 million in the box office. Literally it. Nobody gave a damn. Nobody even knew what Black Adam is. The movie is weeks, literally a couple of weeks after Henry Cavill announced it himself, his return as a Superman. Then the announcement comes out of James Gunn and Peter Safran that they were going to be the new heads of DC and they were going to do a complete reboot of the franchise. A complete reboot. So they start saying, oh, we're gonna get rid of this, we're gonna get rid of that, we're gonna get rid of. So they get rid of Black Adam, they get rid of Superman from Henry Cavill, which was the worst marketing strategy ever in the history of the world. I've never seen. And you can see the reflection in the numbers. It's not even me saying it. It's just, how do you get rid of the most popular actor in your freaking franchise? Even Batfleck was either hate or love, but everyone was enamored with Henry Cavill. Do you blame them? That guy is buff. That guy has wrists. But after you announce that you're gonna get rid of it, get rid of everyone, specifically Henry Cavill, and you basically said that none of the rest of the movies matter except for Flash, which, to be realistic, it barely matter at all. If you watch the movie, it's like you were teasing the Flash as the reset of the entire universe. But you don't get rid of the freaking actor who is one of the biggest, most hated actors in modern times. A guy that many people think that he should be in jail for his crimes. But no, he cannot be in jail because he has the alphabet privilege. So don't worry. He's fine. He's going to keep being the Flash, even though it doesn't make any sense why the Flash is the only character that in the multiverse is no different. There's Michael Keaton and Supergirl, but no, the Flash is the same freaking moron. So there's the first movie to come out after Black Adam, which was Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which, to be fair, is not that bad of a movie. It's a decent movie, you know. We call it popcorn flick here in Mexico, película palomera, alright? That movie lost a lot of money. That movie barely made any freaking money. And this is without the marketing budget, because this movie probably had a big enough marketing budget. So that movie flopped, and then the Flash comes out, and is now officially the biggest flop. A movie that's supposed to be the biggest flop in the history of superhero movies. Superhero movies are a no-brainer. You can make a lot of money with them. It's literally a no-brainer. You just have to not attack your fandom and not put branded messaging. So the Flash flopped remarkably. And right after the Flash, here comes Beetle, who, according to James Gunn, is the first superhero of the DCEU, the new cinematic universe from James Gunn. Mate, you already said before that none of these movies matter. This movie doesn't matter at all for your universe. It doesn't even set up anything. It's literally just a waste of time. A boring waste of time. And money. Don't go watch it. Don't go spend and waste your money on this trash movie. I would say better go and watch Barbie again, because that's going to be better than this garbage. And I bet you $1 billion that this movie is going to be dethroned in its second week by Barbie, which is going to be freaking embarrassing. Because Barbie is just seeing like a 30% drop, 20% drop each week, which is incredible for a movie that has been out for a month, more than a month now. So I bet you that next week this movie is going to do less than Barbie. So all your hype, all your chilling for Blue Beetle is going to dissipate. Variety, you're not gonna remember this. You're not gonna mention it next week. I bet you, but I'm sure as hell gonna mention it, because it's gonna be funny that this movie that is being praised like the first Latino representation movie everywhere in the history of the universe is flopping. Why? Because Latinos don't care about gringo bullshit. Literally, Mexicans are not gonna watch this movie. They are not gonna like it. Let's just say that Mexicans don't speak saying things like, "Oh, it blew my frijoles away." Fuck you, yourself, you're a piece of garbage. The funniest part is that this movie could have been done with a way smaller budget, and they just kept wasting money in stupid branded shit. Literally stupid branded shit that had nothing to do with the movie, nothing to do with DC, but for some reason just decided to spend money at it. For example, every cutscene in the movie has a song that is Latino or Mexican. Every freaking... How much money did you spend in Atrévete, salte del closet? Or in songs from Luis Miguel? Or La Chona from the Tigres del Norte, which Tigres del Norte is one of the most expensive bands in Mexico in the history of ever. I think a concert from them is like 8 million pesos. So they probably was not cheap to buy La Chona or to buy Atrévete, which also is a big hit. Why did you spend money on that? Maybe you could have spent a little bit more money in actual Mexican writers. Maybe the movie wouldn't sound like everyone speaking taco, taco, burrito, órale, chana, órale, taco, taco. It's insane. And I hear many people, brain dead people mostly, saying, oh, this is representation, mostly gringos, you know. Oh, this is representation. Mexicans do speak like that. Mexicans speak with frijoles. Pero call me a fucking frijolero, man. Do you know what that phrase specifically is so brain dead and so offensive to an actual Mexican? Because guess what is the freaking slur that Americans call us? I cannot say it out loud, but I can say it in Spanish. Frijolero. That is our slur. And you think that is okay, George Lopez, to make a phrase, because this is obviously your style of comedy, saying, no, blew my frijoles away. How do you still getting jobs? I don't know. And that is the reason why this movie is gonna flop with the Latino market. Because every smart Latino is going to smell the bullshit a mile away. And the second reason is just a conspiracy theory that I have for why this movie is bombing. You see, well, you remember how this movie was supposed to be marketed towards Mexicans, because it has reference that nobody else got, that only a Mexican will get, that I understood every reference. They were done terribly, like Maria la del Barrio. But they believed that the Mexican market, which is a pretty huge, profitable market. For example, Barbie movie was still making like 40 million just in Mexico alone in its third week. Imagine that. So they think that they could get away, you know, selling this movie to Mexicans. But guess what? We don't give a fuck about your Mexican hero. We don't give a flying fuck about movies from the DC that are not Batman, Superman, not even The Flash. Literally, Batman and Superman. That's it. And most of us Mexicans, we watch películas piratas. And that's a reality of Mexico. And it's a huge problem. A lot of people sell, you know, películas piratas. It was so bad during that time in Mexico that for 15 years of my life, whenever I went to the movie theater, I will hear this freaking ad saying, comprar películas piratas está mal, pero tú como papá te ves mucho peor. ¿Qué le estás enseñando a tus hijos? I absolutely hated this ad, this advertisement, because it was bullshit. My dad struggled a lot making money to feed me and to raise me, right? To pay for my school and my books and my expenses. So the only money he got left was not to go to the movies and spend $20 in a bullshit movie and popcorn. No, we will buy a movie for $2 in the streets, a movie that was already out in the theaters, and we will sit at home and eat whatever we wanted for way less money than they actually costed to go to the movies. So no, I love my father for that, and I watch most of my favorite movies. I watch them they were películas piratas that I watched with my father. Thank you, man. So yeah, they lost the bet. They are not gonna win anything from the Mexican market, and the Mexicans that actually go watch the movie, they're going to say, pinche gringo, just come and call me a frijolero, cabrón. Let's see how that goes. Anyways, eso es todo, amigos. Gracias por su atención y hasta la próxima, primos. Bye.